Hey guys! Before we start, we'd like to acknowledge that this is obviously a very sensitive topic that we're touching on today, given the country that we live in. But we'd also like to remind everyone that the following discussion involves real people with real experiences. So please, do be mindful when commenting. Our goal of this video is not to impose onto anyone's views or beliefs, but to sincerely present what this community has been through. So please do watch with an open mind and enjoy the video. We compiled a list full of negative experiences that gay men face into a bingo sheet. And to see how commonly shared these experiences are, we asked our guests to play a game of trauma bingo. Hi guys!
Hi!
Hello!
Okay, so do you guys know what we're doing today?
I have an idea.
I am under the impression that we're going to be playing bingo, but not just regular bingo, trauma bingo.
I just have a question. If we come across a really hard one, should we be smiling?
I don't know.
Yeah, right.
This is like therapy, guys. All I know is that we spoke a little earlier and we were just like, do we want to play the game? And we were just like, sure, but...
We kind of want to start some interesting conversation.
Very true, that's the main thing. The bingo part comes in a little later.
Yeah.
So if it happens, it happens. Let the games begin. I think I'll just go dead center. Had straight friends assume that I like them. When people find out that you're gay, most of the time, they tend to just kind of shrink back to some extent where they sort of assume that, oh, if you're gay, I must be your prime target.
Like I have to keep a distance from you or you're going to like me.
Or whatever. I'm like, first of all, the kind of delusional self-confidence that you have to think that if anyone is gay around you, they look at you first. I need some of that.
And then after that, it becomes a game of them expecting you to talk to them and warm them up and convince them that you're not into them. For them to finally be like, okay, we can be friends, we're cool.
And if you tell them they are not your type, then they get offended.
Yes, they get offended. They be like,
and then I'm like, so what do you want me to do?
If I tell you you're my type, then you're gonna be like, ew, bro, you're gay.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not gay, but then it's like, if I'm not your type, why am I not your type?
He'll be like, what is it about me that's not your type?
Straight people out there, just look at what you look like and then look at what we look like.
Oh, this is a fun one. I have dated a girl.
Yes! A few actually.
Oh, wow!
More than one. It's all to do with that familial expectation thing. And my mum was over the moon when I was dating a girl, but to a large extent I knew that I was a fraud doing it. With my last girlfriend, I think that one was actually with an expectation heading towards marriage. I felt so bad lying to her. Eventually, when mum asked me if I was gay, that whole conversation, she said, you could get married. So I said, you never raised me that way. You didn't raise me to lie to someone. And a girl deserves everything a husband could be to her, physically, emotionally. It's not right that she gets half a life just because we have to conform to some societal ideal. To which she actually surprisingly agreed.
You had me at 3.
Felt insecure about my masculinity and femininity. Growing up, I was always being told to man up, from both men and women. And I always thought to myself, have they ever wondered what does it mean to be a man? The word man itself could mean so many different things. Yeah. And I always felt as though there were preconceived notions about gay people. I thought that sometimes in order for me to blend into the community, I may have to
fit into those?
Yeah, fit into those stereotypes. So growing up, I was always in just this tumultuous state of balancing between the both, not knowing where do I stand.
Everybody has a very different idea about masculinity and femininity, and you need to deal with so many different layers of expectations all the time. There's a reason why my pronouns I go by he, him, and she, her, because masculinity is not something that is enough to define my personhood, and my femininity at the same time is not enough to define it either. So instead of going the direction of identifying with neither as non-binary people would, I decided to be adopting both.
All right, this one. Struggled with religion.
Oh, do we have time? I grew up in a really strong Catholic household, and having
these feelings at a very young age. I felt like it's so conflicting with my beliefs. And what's worse is people actually knew about me. And whenever topics like this come up, I can feel like, eyes are all on me. There were times where my older leaders would be like, okay, Clinton, I think it's time for you to stop coming to these, like group meetings and seminars and whatnot. It's sort of like you gotta fix yourself first before you continue. And it sucked. I was so heartbroken because I love what I did in the church, because that's my connection, with God or whatever spiritual being. And to be told to my face, we don't want you here for the time being until you get better. What does that even mean?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of judgment in organized religion. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to look at it as a sin, there's lots of sins. Who's to say that theirs is not lesser just because you've made some weird predetermination that it isn't?
Why it gotta be us?
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, we all mostly cherry pick what we believe.
It was really, really tough. But again, I'm happy to be where I am now and how I've come to terms with it. It's between me and God. I don't think anybody should have the right to, say what I feel or what I do is valid or not.
I have experienced discrimination in the gay community. I've experienced discrimination in the gay community for a multitude of reasons. The most obvious one would be being a brown-skinned queer person. Gay men in particular will make it a point to tell you that you don't fit into their fantasies or their idea of what is conventionally attractive or whatever it might be. I've had people chat me up on the apps and tell me I look better with black hair than colored hair. Or they'd be like, I don't know why you put on makeup. And I'm like, it's not for you. And don't even get me started about the weight. You don't have enough body hair to be considered this. You don't have enough weight to be considered the other one. You don't have enough muscles to be this. You don't have whatever. I'm like,
yeah, it's like, why do you have to cram yourself so much into all of these different boxes?
It gets so stifling, and it tends to just get people either feeling down or worse about themselves.
And they can't really choose a lot of these things at the end of the day. They're just born with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I think this discrimination is obviously more recent. You see it everywhere on the dating apps. No femmes, I only want to date this race. I think we're all part of the human race, and to a large extent, I think that discrimination that's visited upon us shouldn't be put out there for others as well.
In the gay community, I'm probably gonna get cancelled for saying this, we're pretty shallow. If you don't appear or behave or look a certain way,
You can get ignored.
You can get ignored. And I've always had to sort of sometimes tone down my feminine side just to sort of be on the same level of playing field with some guys in the scene. And on dates previously, when I start speaking, hi, how are you? That 180 change, and it kind of messes you up in the brain a little bit.
Yes.
You just start nitpicking at yourself, and it's such a horrible feeling.
I have been outed. Have you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait. I think it's only one instance where I didn't want to be, and it was without my consent it happened, where I was at a comedy show. And as usual, nobody was in the front row, so I went and sat there with my friends or whatever. And me being me, the venue was cold and I enjoy physical affection, so me and my friends, they were all girls anyway. So I was just holding a hand like this, sat there. And I think the dude on stage, he just had to ask whether we were together. And then that friend, she didn't say I was gay in particular, but she just said he's not on.
Oh, he doesn't play for
He doesn't play for our team, yeah, that's what she said. And then she's like, hey guys, there's a gay person sitting in the front row holding some girls. And I was just like,
wait, he said it on the mic?
on the mic, yeah. And I was just looking at him and my friend, I was just like, first of all, I don't even know who might be here. And the worst part about it was it was met with laughter. So I'm like, why is that a joke? And I do recall leaving the place and I couldn't help myself but tear up because I was just like, it was so scary. It wasn't humiliating, it was just scary. Because it was one of those instances where I wasn't exactly out. Like I told people, but it was like a process that I was getting comfortable with. And just being used as a prop for a comedian on stage really didn't sit well with me. The inherent homophobia was very present.
And it's honestly quite prevalent in even our local media. The transsexuals or the gays or basically just queer people are always used as comedic relief in the shows.
Do y'all think it's possible to be outed even though you're openly gay?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because there are times where you might be in a place of danger. You do not want your identity as a queer person to be expressed or told.
And I would say the main thing about it is consent. Because yes, even if rainbow flags everywhere and my captions on my social media has said that I am gay, unless it comes out of my mouth, why do you want to tell people? Or it's not something that you can just use quirkily to add value to your conversation or whatever.
Which is true.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's bingo for you.
Bingo!
Okay guys, so how do you feel? How's the game for you?
I honestly felt like it was a rather joyous experience actually.
Yeah, as much as even if it's called trauma in this case, it's nice to be able to speak to someone who has similar experiences for the most part. You just feel more heard and seen.
For me, it highlighted a little bit of the privilege I've enjoyed. To be honest, I have a very good life here in Malaysia. I don't experience the type of discrimination that people may think I do living in such a conservative country.
What would you say to someone who's currently going through the same struggles that you just talked about?
I'm fortunate to be here sharing my story with everyone today, and I hope that whoever watches this doesn't feel so alone.
As dark and horrible as things might be at the pressing moment, you will reach a point where you will put in the work to be better and you will see better.
Take as much time as you need understanding who you are as a human being, you know, regardless of your preferences, however you identify as. It is not a race, it's a journey. And yeah, much love to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a little small gift for y'all.
Oh my god,
thank you.
Ooh!
Wow!
Inisaya!
I love!
Inisaya, oh, I've been following them for so long!
Ooh, I love batik. Oh, it's one of like my favorite things.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hey again guys, thanks so much for watching to the end of the video. Before we go, we'd like to give a quick shout out to Inisaya for gifting our guests with these gorgeous modern batik shirts. And yes, I am wearing one as well. They also have women's apparel, so if you're interested in getting one for yourself, make sure to check out the link in the description box below. Okay, bye!